WrestleMania is special. It's not just WWE's biggest show of the year, it's wrestling's Super Bowl. The stage where legends are made, streaks are broken, and moments that live on forever. When it's done right, there's nothing better about it. But WWE doesn't get it right all the time, because sometimes there will always be a case for a match that closes WrestleMania that makes you leave the show wondering why it deserved its placement of being there. Feeling as though a much better match should have had the more worthy spotlight of main eventing the show. And that's where I come in, folks! Because today is where I break down WrestleMania main events that shouldn't have happened and who I think should have closed the show instead. Let's get into this. WrestleMania 27, The Miz vs. John Cena. Let's start with a match that felt like an afterthought before it even happened. Why is a regular match on Raw taking place as the main event of the grandest stage of them all? What are we doing here, man? This was a bad idea for a multitude of reasons. One, it does not scream WrestleMania main event. Two, The Miz was just not ready to be the main event guy. He just wasn't. He was just in that awkward state where The Miz just always felt overshadowed in front of the real top guys of the company. Case in point, number 3, this feud was heavily overshadowed. Like WWE had no care over this match whatsoever, because this was only a setup for the real setup of The Rock vs. John Cena at WrestleMania 28, which would end up being a legendary feud. But to sack on one of your biggest attended WrestleManias of all time for 1, a Miz and Cena match, and 2, for a match that will only happen a year later. Plus, Miz and Cena could never get a good match out of each other. The crowd was mostly quiet as it was a traditional heel versus face match as it gets, but it ends abruptly as it first ended by a double countout, but also Cena tackled The Miz down the barricade so hard that he got a concussion and couldn't remember anything that happened afterwards. Then The Rock came in, restarted the match, and made a no DQ match, just so he could rock bottom Cena and let The Miz win. And then they ended the show with The Rock literally beating up the world champion and standing tall a minute later, leaving us a whole year to wait for this match. And then Cena won the belt later afterwards. So really, what was the point? I mean, there was a point to this, but really, what was the point? So who do I think should have main evented WrestleMania 27? Well, honestly, there was only one match on the card that had it all. It was 2 veterans in the game, decades of tension, words turned into war. The air was thick with personal animosity. This is many years in the making, finally boiling down to the grandest stage of them all. This wasn't just a match. This was a clash of eras, a fight for legacy, respect, and honor. And I'm of course talking about Michael Cole vs. Jerry the King. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's of course Undertaker vs. Triple H. This match stunk. That match had everything. High stakes, real emotion, and a finish that left fans breathless. Triple H came closer than most to ending the streak, and the fact that Undertaker couldn't even walk on his own afterwards, that just helps justify the point and how close Triple H was. That's drama, that's storytelling, that's a WrestleMania main event. Not this sank! And it all led towards the rematch of WrestleMania 28, leading Undertaker to come out with this style that is, well, it's quite the something. WrestleMania 34, Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar 2. Only one man asked for this, only one man wanted this, and mostly everyone wanted nothing to do with this. And look, I get it. Trust me, I get it. WWE was all in on Roman Reigns being their top guy. But by WrestleMania 34, the crowd was already over it, me included, because this was Roman Reigns' 4th straight WrestleMania main event in a row. Like, we're kind of getting unnecessary here. The thing is, Roman was having much better run in the mid-card scene, and people were slowly starting to like him because he wasn't shoved down our throats as hard all the time. But as soon as he lost the Intercontinental Championship from The Miz, we were sadly back to square one. But here's the thing, even though fans like me were eye-rolling that this match was happening, we were like, okay Vince, you can have what you want. This is your moment to let it happen. You want Roman to have his WrestleMania moment in beating Brock and having the champion. You can have it, and we can finally pass the story and have our merry. Oh, come on, what the hell? Why? Why did Brock win this? Just a why? Just a why? You had what you wanted, and you still couldn't give it to us. Why does Vince love torturing the people that make him money? I don't get it. And to add to the torture, the match sucked. It was both men finishers spamming each other's moves. Roman kicked out of like 5 F5s. That's 3 more than the Undertaker could handle, and it led to the streak ending. Oh my lord, I wanna cry. Roman was left bleeding, but no one cared. Another F5 and Brock won, leaving countless fans booing and having the match end so badly that it led Brock to throw away the belt at Vince's face after he won it. This company was in such a great state, and then we had to wait 4 extra stalling months for the moment to happen again. Which just So what should have ended the show? Honestly, Nakamura versus AJ Styles for the World Champion. Yes, I know it got a lot of flack, but we've got to remember the context. WrestleMania 34 was 5 hours long. That should tell you everything otherwise. Nakamura and Styles were not going to have a great match with a dead crowd, and it should be known a great crowd can do such a great smoke and mirrors effect to a match because it's what elevates the match to the next level. But everyone was too exhausted to react to the match, so we could never get a good performance out of this. I believe with that being in the main event, it could have been structured better and it would have left fans a little more satisfied than what we originally got to the match. But hey, that's just me. And speaking of really bad Roman Reigns main event WrestleMania matches, we have to of course speak about Roman Reigns vs Undertaker at WrestleMania 33. Sorry, my bad. My bad, let me just correct myself. In my eyes, and to many, this was not a match, but more so watching a grown man beat an old man to his grave for 23 uninterrupted minutes straight. This was a tragedy. First off, Undertaker should have retired straight up after WrestleMania 30 because WrestleMania 29 was truly when he hit his peak. He couldn't move the way he did, he couldn't do a match the way he did, he was always gassed out and couldn't do that much in any performance that he had to do. And this match, was not so different. Roman Reigns was still at a low point with the crowd, he was still getting booed, and nobody actually believed that the best way to put him up as a star was to help beat up a 52-year-old broken down Undertaker. What were they thinking? The match was slow, hella botchy, and it was just fans being quiet for 98% of it because they couldn't bear to watch their childhood hero be beaten down like this. The shot of Undertaker trying to set up a falling down was so heartbreaking to see, and Roman beat Taker for the spear. Everyone expected it, and I truly believe that this didn't elevate Roman Reigns whatsoever through this, and I think it just more so given more reason for the fans to despise him. And then Undertaker was left to remove all of his clothing in the ring, and as Ollie from Wrestle Talk would put it, this was the saddest striptease of all time. Joking aside, this was really emotional to see, as this was a moment that led to the fans to understand that Undertaker's time with wrestling was coming to an end. And then he went on to have a 2-year run of having really bad stinker matches. Oh dear lord, keep him away from Saudi Arabia. And here's what really should have ended WrestleMania 33. Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. Yes, it was 5 minutes long, but it was like one of the best 5-minute matches of all time in wrestling. It was fast paced, crowd was hot, they got all the spots in, and it truly heavily carried Goldberg and Brock Lesnar's strength as wrestlers. Brock won the title, which is but nobody cared as it gave them a really fun but great entertaining match. I think that would have satisfied people way more than watching elderly abuse for 23 minutes straight. But hey, that's just me. Also remember, I do not hate Roman Reigns. He's just someone who I feel isn't booked in his best potential, and yes, I even feel that way sometimes with his current run, but that's another discussion for another video. That's all that I have for you folks. What do you think deserved the WrestleMania main event but never got it? Let me know down below. I reply to every comment. Very well, my socials. Subscribe now as I make a video every single week. Goodbye.